Hey guys, this is Larry Hurt with the Bulk Insurance Group podcast. Hey, we're having a little fun this week. Jared's typically on here with the podcast. We're kind of doing a segue into an insurance feature. So we'll be rolling out some episodes really dedicated to the insurance group, why we're going, why we're here. I'm going to have Jeff here joining me. You guys have probably seen his face on here a few times now. But really, we want to give you kind of a high level overview today of why did we start the insurance group? How did it grow? Where we're at? What's the forecast like for the future? And what's the why behind what we're doing? So I'll kick it off. If you don't know me, I'm Larry Hurt. I am the CEO of Bulk Insurance Group. I met Jared Flynn probably 4 years ago now. I was in the process of building a transportation insurance division for a large insurance brokerage here in Springfield. And one day, actually, a guy came in my office and was just like, "Hey, have you ever heard of BulkLoads?" And I was like, "No, I've never heard of it." Previously I was with CH Robinson, and I was more in the dry van reefer space. Helped build a lot of solutions for them. And so I had never heard of Jared or BulkLoads. And so I immediately looked Jared up online on LinkedIn, and I found him, and I just shot him a message and was like, "Let's get lunch." So that's what we did. Jared was really open to it. We grabbed lunch and had a great time, got to know each other. I tell everyone when I'm telling this story, Jared's like the ultimate entrepreneur. And so it wasn't too far into our relationship where he had sent me some leads. I had written some business guys that were from BulkLoads on the load board. And he said, "Hey, will you give these guys a quote?" And so I did. That's kind of how we started our relationship. And with Jared being the entrepreneur that he is, he contacted me probably a year into knowing each other and was like, "Hey, here's the deal. I get guys that ask me for insurance recommendations all the time. I don't really feel comfortable recommending some other folks that I know. What do you think about just starting an insurance group together?" And at first I was like, "Oh yeah, let me think about it," with really not a lot of intention to do it. Talked to my wife about it, and we were like, "You know what? It's probably not a good fit." And so I kept in contact with Jared, but we never did anything. That was probably the first year that I knew him. It was probably 6 months after that he reached out again.
Well, I could see him being like, you're like, is this guy really serious? And now after you know him for a while, it's like, oh, he's dead serious. Like he's dead serious. So, for that type of conversation, it's kind of like, well, where do you go with that?
And that's what it was. And I was building the book, and I had just started really having a lot of success at that time. And so I was like, "Oh man, I don't need to go start this on deal." But Jared was persistent, man. I think that, if you've watched the podcast, if you've tuned into it, you know that Jared is a man of faith and a man of persistence. And so we kind of stayed in contact. And it was about 2 years after that initial conversation where he was like, "Okay, come by my office. I need to talk to you." And so I came by, and we started talking. He's like, "Okay, we can do this, but I need you to do it." And so we kind of put a plan together. I was in a place where I could take a little more risk personally. And so we put the plan in place, and we got to work on it. So June of 2022, we launched Bulk Insurance Group. Really at that time, our focus was motor carriers, truck insurance. And so we've spent a lot of time building our truck insurance practice. I had previously helped build that at my previous company, so I understood, we need really good access to truck markets, right? That's the first thing. If you're going to build something that's successful, you have to build something that's worthwhile for your clients. And so for me, that's always been, we need the best access to the best trucking markets. And so we've been able to go out and receive contracts from large insurance carriers that are really specific in the bulk space and the regional hauling space. Two of the best markets. And when we started it, I can't tell you how many people are like, "Oh, you'll never get those contracts." I mean, I heard that right away. It was like, "Oh, you guys are a scratch agency. You won't be able to get those contracts." The difference is when these insurance markets start to understand what we have with BulkLoads. It's not like we're not like a local insurance agency or a large insurance agency that decides, "Oh, we're going to write truck insurance." We're kind of operating backwards. So what we did is we said, let's make sure that we give BulkLoads members an insurance option that is trustworthy, that is dedicated to the trucking space, people that understand the industry, and let's give them the best quality customer service that the market has to offer.
And that's huge. I mean, I've paid attention, and I know so many people in the industry, and most people do not truly understand the motor carrier's coverage. Having people that specialize in it, when you talk to them, you know that they know what they're talking about, and if they don't, it's really clear to know that,
Yeah, no, absolutely. We see a lot of trucking insurance agents kind of hop into trucking because there's such large premiums.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys can't even spell the word truck.
Yeah.
But they write a lot of truck business just because they can go out and get a quote. We don't want to be that. We want to be industry experts, and that's what we strive to do. I'll go back to Jared. His heart's always been to serve the owner-operator, to serve the motor carrier, to allow them to have access and resources that enhance their business. And we saw insurance as another opportunity to do that. And that's what we've done. And it's been a really fun journey so far. My heart is similar to Jared's in that aspect. I want to hang our hats on our customer service. We've hired some of the best account managers that I've ever been a part of. Yep. And so we're grateful for them. Also, our sales team is solid. These are all people that have a passion for trucking. And our heart has always been to serve undervalued professions. And there's no profession more undervalued than a trucker.
Yeah.
And so our goal, much like Jared's goal with BulkLoads, is to flip that script, right? These guys are guys that we want to treat with respect and dignity and actually really help enhance their business processes. If we can get you a better quote, that's great. We love doing that. I can't tell you, we collectively, we've saved in the last year and a half, we've saved our customers over $500,000 in insurance premium.
At least, plus the people that were double insured or paying for insurance they didn't need, that we were able to advise them. Those cases happen almost on a weekly basis, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's priceless. And so that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve you guys. We love this industry. Jared and I both, and Jeff, you as well. Like we're guys that we believe in the mission of what we're doing. We're hyper focused on what we're good at, which is trucking, and I'll let you talk about the agribusiness. But we have a plan, and that plan is to continue to grow our presence in the trucking insurance agency and really to grow the largest bulk trucking insurance agency in the country. And so we're well on our way to doing that, and we've had a lot of fun so far. But it all goes back to the same thing for us at the end of the day, which is we're going to do our best possible job to serve our clients and bring you guys the best customer experience possible. And that's a lot of fun. We're having fun doing it. So that's a little bit about me and my background. I'll actually kick it to Jeff. I'll let you kind of talk about your background, but we were extremely excited when we hired Jeff because as we see the trucking being undervalued and underserved in the insurance industry, we also understand that agribusiness and farming is another one of those market segments that is extremely undervalued, and it really doesn't have a lot of industry experts. And so we've got Jeff over here, and he's leading the agribusiness and farm unit for us.
Yeah. And, we met over a year ago. So, they had just got started, and we met. Jared knew him. He owned some real estate that my wife leased for a coffee shop. And I had met with Jared and Larry, and we sat down, and they just told me what they had going on. And I left, and I said, man, it sounds like they really have something great going on there. My wife asked me, was like, are you going to go work for him? And I said, I don't think I'll ever work for him. I love seeing what they're doing. And I think maybe a year down the road, I'd message you, just say, man, looks like you're killing it. And some stuff had changed at the company I was with, but I was with for 10 years with a national insurance carrier on the home office side. I worked with agents, the people out there producing. Most of these were personal lines guys, but I helped, basically build the education program for the farm side. So I was helping them learn how to sell farm and ag insurance, learn how to do commercial insurance. And for years I'd always been told, people were like, you need to be on the sales side of things. That's where you belong. That's the side of the business that you belong. You have the personality for it. You have the skills. And, I kept working on that home office side, but I didn't want to jump over. And, I had plenty of opportunity to become an agent or do my own thing, but I didn't want to jump over to that side of the business without the right opportunity, because I try to be passionate about whatever I'm doing.
Sure.
And I wasn't passionate about just being your normal personal lines agent that is a catch-all that does everything. Like I wanted to specialize in something. I wanted to be in a market that I was passionate about, and I'm passionate about what BulkLoads does with all of our customers, how we serve the bulk trucking market, how we're attached to all the farms, our grain elevators, our ag co-op partners across the country, that there's a lot of opportunity there. And this is a very interesting segment of the insurance market, because a lot of the agents that did this are aging out of the business. We have carriers that have approached us and said, nobody's getting into this part of the business. That leads to people being underserved. It also leads to the fact that, when you do your truck insurance year over year, you're quoting it, you're adding equipment, you're doing those things. A lot of times, just like on a homeowner's policy or something, you can kind of get complacent. It's good to have somebody that you can rely on that's going to be contacting you, providing customer service. And that's our goal, where we're going to make sure that you're covered, you're educated, you know what's going on. When it comes to the agribusiness insurance, we're expanding, getting new markets all the time. There's going to be some cool partnerships that we have going up that we're going to announce here very, very soon. But I'm just passionate about this business. From day one, I've come over, I've said it nonstop that, we are serving the customers that feed the world.
Yep.
What's more exciting than that? Not that I don't care about other businesses or things, but there is something about all these customers that we meet, the relationships we have with them. 99% of the time when we visit with a customer, most of that is not insurance talk. It might eventually get to that,
Right.
but most of the time we have a genuine interest in what they're doing, and that ends up leading to the business relationship. But first and foremost, it's customer relationship.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. Jared and I were on a visit yesterday, and we started just diving into their business practice, right? They have a trucking company, but they also had a rock yard. They also knew every other trucking company in a 100-mile radius. And the trucking company actually dispatched loads for the local co-op, right? And those conversations are what makes it fun to see it all work together. But these are all the same people, right? These are the farmers. These are the guys that have been trucking to their local co-op forever. We also obviously have a lot of deep relationships with the co-ops. We're providing some technology that is second to none right now. And so it's been a lot of fun to kind of see that kind of grow into what it is becoming.
Yeah, and I think when we get out there, we value their profession, and I think they end up seeing that we're professionals in what we do. And that just like they're a partner with their local trucking companies or owner ops that they work with, or they may feed some business to, same way that we are a partner in their business. And that's how we look at it, is that, like you said, there's people that try to jump in that might be able to sell them a truck policy. What we're trying to do is show the passion, show our expertise, and get you to hire us to be your agent. We want to represent you, just like you'd hire a lawyer or you'd hire somebody to represent you as an entity. We want to represent your business on the insurance side.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So if I had to just sum everything up, the why behind what we're doing really starts with Jared's passion to serve
100%.
the owner operator, to serve the undervalued professions, whether it's agribusiness, farming, or trucking, and everything that we do bleeds over from that vision of what Jared created, and Matt and Rachel with Smart Freight as well. And so we're looking for solutions that enhance your business. We're on the front lines every day fighting that battle to give you better access to better coverage at a more affordable price.
Yep.
And we're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And we're growing something that's special. If I had to bet, I bet we're one of the fastest growing agencies, if in the Midwest for sure, maybe the entire country. And so we're seeing a lot of growth. But again, it goes back to that mindset that we're here to serve. We're not on the golf course at 3 p.m. on Thursday.
We're going to answer your call on Friday afternoon.
We're getting after it.
Every day. I mean, that's one joke that we have over here, is that we're not out golfing. When other agencies are leaving at 3:00 on Thursday and they're taking off Friday, our guys are here at 7:30 Friday morning Central Time, ready to go.
That's right.
Sun up to sundown. So
that's right, and we love it. So if you guys would subscribe to this channel on YouTube, go like it. It'll be featured on the forum at some point on BulkLoads. But we couldn't do any of this without you guys. And so we appreciate it. We appreciate your business. We appreciate your loyalty. And we appreciate your feedback as well. And so we're honored to go on this journey with you. We look forward to continuing to serve you. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.